Yes, listen up. I'm going to be talking about AI. Apologies, because AI is a ridiculous buzzword at the minute, and so I'm going to helpfully talk through some stuff that can be done, some stuff that is being done, some stuff that's maybe aspirational. So just checking in. Most of you know who we are, but Salsa Sound, we are unashamedly people who do fun things with sound. We love solving challenges, love things that are just kind of generally the kind of fun stuff that you want to get involved with. So for us, that looks like interactivity, it looks like next-gen audio, and in particular, it looks like AI and machine learning workflows. And one of our mantras is microphones are not just sound recorders, they are data gatherers. Talk about that quite a lot. They're sensors rather than microphones, because there's so much data out there, and these microphones are sampling, capturing that data, and that's why we're passionate about AI, because it's part of data processing, and can we use that data to do some cool stuff. So hopefully, in the next 8.3 minutes, I can talk you through some of the cool stuff that we've done, and hopefully whet your appetite for it. Now, got to apologise for this ludicrous diagram that in my head was going to make everything really simplistic and make everything like this really great. I'm going to talk everyone through this thing. It's going to be really great. But I'm kept it anyway, because when everybody talks about AI, I think most people now are jumping to Gen AI and they're jumping to ChatGPT. And whilst that's all really great, that isn't what I'm talking about, and it's not what we're doing. This is not large language model stuff. So this ridiculous diagram that I'm going to focus on for 30 seconds is helpfully complicated. The idea is you've got some kind of input data. In this case, this is pictures, okay? So you're trying to figure out what is a picture of a dog, what's a dog, what's a cat, that sort of thing. And the idea, it's a bit like you're doing GCSE maths, right? You know, you have an equation of an unknown. It's just that we've got loads of unknowns, okay? And each one of these circles represents an unknown. And basically the idea of a neural network, which is what we're talking about, is can we figure out what all of the operations are, what the best operations of all those circles are, so that when we put a picture of a frog in, out comes a picture of a frog. So that is the basis of it, and you keep rifling through your computers, doing a trial and error all the time, trying to adjust these weights and these kind of operations until actually what you come out with is what you expect. And so you keep iterating this until you get a neural network that can hopefully solve problems for you. So in an audio world, this is give it loads and loads of hours of sound examples, and you tag them all. So you say, this is the sound of a racket strike, or this is the sound of a motorbike, or whatever it is. You tag it, you give it loads and loads of hours, pass it through some kind of DSP, something that helps the computer understand what it is. So typically just audio waveforms are not that great for computers to learn. So you give it something like a spectrogram. So you give it time and frequency information. And you come out with this network. Once you've been around my complicated diagram, come out with a neural network, a trained model. And then you take it out into the wild. And you give it some live audio, and you run it through that same processor, and hopefully it is able to make decisions for you. It's able to say, actually, that was a racket strike, or that was the bounce of a ball. We recognize that, we've seen it before. Even though we haven't seen that exact example, we've seen enough similar ones that your machine learning can actually make a decision for you. So that is the whistle-stop tour of machine learning / AI, if you want, for audio, and in particular live. And there's been done loads of stuff in the non-live world for AI and audio, and you know that's actually really easy because you've got loads of time. But in the live context, you don't have a lot of time. You split your sound up into buffers, and you've got to make these decisions super duper quick. So thankfully, computers are getting good now, so we can start doing some of this thing in the real world. And this is what we do. So this is our Mixer software that performs these exact workflows that I'm talking about. So we're listening out for the sounds of referees, or kicks, or bounces, or sticks in ice hockey, or speech, and then we can auto mix around that. So when you detect the sound patterns that you're looking for, then you can add that into the mix automatically. So you can you can see that this is a really great tool for auto-mixing content and creating a pitch or a field of play effect stem, but it also does all the commentaries and immersive crowd, and can output lots of different flavors and yada, 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 yada. It's good. You should check it out. But I don't have time to go into it too much detail, sorry. Heather's flashing pieces of paper at me. So also, obviously, speech is a really well-trodden path when it comes to AI. Things like noise reduction has been okay up to this point, but where we're really drilling down is actually speech separation, so that you can not just clean it up a little bit, but actually subtract it back out of the mix. And then you can remix content, or you can do things like remove the PA, and do things like when if you've got a stereo mix, then you can take the speech out and then run it through our ducker, and you can put the audio description on without having to duck your entire program feed, which, let's be honest, just makes everybody feel sick. So lots of cool stuff around that. I'm rifling through. We've historically done loads of stuff with audio until recently, when we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we did some things with video as well? Like, it's other great data source that maybe we could use to kind of augment some of the audio workflows as well. So this is what we've done. We wrote an algorithm that could detect whether something was close up or whether it was distant, and then you could change your background sound based on that, change your mic configuration based on that. It's kind of like an intelligent audio follow video. So that was fun. This isn't an exact example, because I'm not allowed to talk about the exact example, but the kind of other things that we've been using our limb tracking over the summer was to detect human motion. So you can imagine it in golf, for example. If you wanted to pick out the moment just before somebody was to tee off, then you can use our limb tracking. It kind of that runs in real time and is able to kind of preemptively tell you some of the things that are about to happen. So baseball is a good one, because it's quite difficult to know when you've got to raise that fader to get the back crack. So if we can, detect when the pitcher's doing this, for the benefit of the tape, I raise my knee in a pitcher kind of manner. Then you can detect when the back crack's about to happen, and you can automate raising that fader a little bit. So it's a really cool assistant. So if anyone thinks of other cool use cases of it, let me know, because we spent a long time developing it and we want to have some more fun with it. So you could only use it for something like rowing. Potentially could use it for rowing. Who knows? That's off the record. Apart from it's on the record. Yes, rowing would be a great example, where you could trigger samples of people rowing with, or things where it's difficult to put microphones if they're a long way away, for example. Then you can use the limb tracking to do that. Some of the other things that we've been talking about today, Carl mentioned about the QC, and this is something that we're really passionate about at the moment, doing automated QC, because if you're like me and you ever go into a master control room and you find that nobody's really paying any attention to the sound, there's like a billion screens all around you, sensory overload, but you can hear a pin drop because you cannot monitor 15 different feeds at once with your ears, turns out. So what we're developing, work on a project that's UK government funded at the moment to automate quality control processes. So humans can't listen to 10 different feeds, but computers can. In fact, they could listen to hundreds of different feeds all at once. And the idea being that they can flag up key problems that may not be happening, whether you've got too much compression or your gains on the microphones are too high or too low, or if you've got a down mix problem and things like that. And this obviously works in distribution, but also in production. So if you're, microphone misalignment, misplacement, wind noise, rain noise, glitches, these kind of things with compressors pumping, things that our product as broadcaster's product is the thing that gets in front of viewers. And so we want that product to get the best shop window possible and want people to get the best content possible. And so having some kind of early warning that can then say to, for example, Nuno's team, hey, you probably want to listen to stream 25 because it sounds like you've got an EQ mismatch or something like that. So this is something that we've been having a lot of fun with, and I'll skip over that one. Oh yeah, profanity detection is part of that as well. And just put that slide on just for fun. So last but not least, part of the QC that we've been working on is, I don't know if this is a video or not. It's supposed to be a video. Yes, it is. This was deployed out for the World Series just a couple of weeks ago. This is our speech intelligibility meter that gives real-time updates as to not just how loud the speech is or things like that, but how intelligible is the speech within that mix. This is a bad section to do it because I think it's almost entirely red. If you were to watch this for the next 30 seconds, which we haven't got time for, you'll see that it will eventually go green and the commentator will start speaking in a more intelligible way. So you can imagine this is a phenomenal tool to kind of get rid of problems right at the source, like make sure that fundamentally the content that's being produced is high quality content that viewers can easily access and can hear what's going on. Oh, that went green for a second. So there we are. At the moment, that's working with a speech reference, but the next iteration, if you come back in a couple of months, looking at Will, who's the lead developer on this, we'll have a one which doesn't require a reference and can actually kind of pull the speech out and then do the speech intelligibility reading on that. So, like I say, we love doing cool stuff, and for us, machine learning and AI presents loads of great opportunities around that. So if anything that I've shared resonates or kind of makes sense, you think, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could do that? I'm likely to be interested because I'm like a child who just likes exciting things to do with sound. So come and have a chat. And I think that's the last slide. It is. Cool.